If every student in the first 5 minutes of class is encouraged to speak something out loud, each student is way more likely to continue to be engaged at later points in the class. Do math warm-ups work? What's the best way to start your math class? I get to visit hundreds of classrooms. Today I want to talk about what I've seen work in the first 5 minutes of class. First off, let's talk about what tends to be less effective. Many math teachers start their class by having students take out their homework and spend the first few or many minutes reviewing work. I have a whole different video on why that presents challenges, but there is a better way to start class. Other teachers start with fact fluency or timed math facts activity. This also may not be the best use on the front end of a math class. So what does work best? Start each math class with a quick activity, less than 5 or 6 minutes, that immediately engages students to talk to each other about critical thinking topics that in some way relate to the work you're covering in math class that day. What does that look like? This could be a which one doesn't belong activity, or would you rather activity, or a number talk. The element that all of these activities have in common is that they all allow students to share their thinking with each other. That thinking may be different for different students. The final answer to these questions is less important than the conversation about what they're thinking. Why is that important? For students, work like this helps them begin thinking about being flexible mathematicians. Years ago, when we taught math, we drilled into students that there's only one correct way to solve a problem, not taking into account that most professional mathematicians actually have refined skills of being flexible in their approaches. Having students share different thinking strategies helps other students to solidify connections and deepen their own understanding. For teachers, activities like this are a great, quick, formative assessment. As the students are talking to each other in the class, the teacher can kind of hear how deeply students understand concepts and what vocabulary students may be familiar with. Later in that class period, that teacher can also kind of refer back to that work to help students make sense of and connect the new material they're working on. Another added benefit of starting the math class with these types of activities is that they allow you to set the stage for positive engagement. If every student in the first 5 minutes of class is encouraged to speak something out loud, to share their thinking, each student is way more likely to continue to be engaged at later points in the class. This is especially effective when the teacher shows interest in the student thinking during those first few minutes. Oh wow, thank you for sharing that thinking. I actually hadn't noticed that difference. Or, it's so great to see how you're thinking about this question. That helps me to understand how we can move forward together. So in the first 5 minutes, consider using an activity like this that immediately engages students and helps you to prepare them for upcoming content. Have a great day, all.